Yorana, and welcome to FM Tahiti. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a while since I've actually recorded anything, so there's been a bit of a break in the schedule. So in the last kind of episode, we made that final decision, went through the job hunting, and I've ended up at the soon-to-be great and mighty Totengengie Wings. This episode, I'm just going to take you through a bit of the background about the team. I know I did a little bit of that in the last match, a little bit of that, then I'll kind of fast forward and try and get some transfers in and get the squad sorted out. But this is where we are with the Wings. They play at the Aerodrome. They're a Gambier side. We've not got a huge amount in the way of resources because we're all the way down in the Polynesian Development Gold League. So it's the Under-23s league, but basically the league is made up of a series of, let's have a look here, Under-23 teams, plus some senior teams if they've been either relegated this far, if they started this far down. So the Totengengie Wings did start this far down. They've not been out of the Gold League. So you've got lots of under-23 teams, including the Humpbacks under-23s, who've won it the past 2 years running. Got Marquesas Shellfish, who are another Gambier side from the island just over. It's a really close island in comparison to lots of the others to us, so they're fierce rivals. Isla Magdalena, Naruto, who are from the Austral Islands, Magdalena from the Marquesas Islands, Tabai Lagunas, who I believe are from the Bass Islands, Huahuca Chevres, who are from the Marquesas Islands, and the Vahanga Vines, who are also a Gambier side, one of the smaller, newest sides that I put in this sort of database. So what I'm going to do when I play this save is I'm going to probably record most of the senior matches. I'll probably play the first 2 matches or whatever, whoever they're against, whether it's under-23s or a full team. But then for the rest of the season, I'm just going to concentrate on the actual real teams, because playing against the under-23s is going to be good for my scouting, but it's probably not going to be the most interesting thing to watch. So we probably get through the season quite quickly once we get going. So this is what we've got. Our schedule actually has our opener against Naruto, so we'll probably play these 2, maybe come back for some of these and so on. It's not a huge season because less games are played in the Under-23 league. I think I just said it, so there's 21 games or 20 games played. So look at the rules. Yeah, 20 games. Each team plays each other once. So it's kind of high stakes if you want to get promoted and that. But it's also not a long, drawn-out season if things go horribly wrong. We'd have to put up with a full 40-game season or something like that just to get nothing at the end of it. We should be in the Inter-Island Cup. We are in the Mutiny Trophy. So we're in the group with the Takara Terrors, the Feral Cats, Jupiters, Puka Puka, and Naruto. We've managed to avoid Humpbacks in the draw, but it's very likely we'd end up having to play them in the final, potentially. Spoiler alert there, they won it without me last season. So we've got that to look forward to. Again, it's not a big money cup or anything like that, but it'd be good to try and see if we can sneak some silverware. I think if we ended up in the final against the Humpbacks, we would suffer. There is a definite gulf. When we look at the teams in a second, you'll see there's a definite gulf. In terms of other kind of big differences, if we look at the club generally, whilst we've got a snazzy home kit there, we've got professional status like all the other teams. We've got insecure finances. I'll show you them in a second. We've never left gold. I think was it 4th is the highest they've managed. So they're kind of underachievers, but at the same time they've also not been relegated. So they've stayed the course. Got 107 capacity surface stadium with a sand surface, the Aerodrome, because the island's pretty much a landing strip, and there's not much else going on. We've got a few icons. We've got Evan Lambert, who's midfielder attacking left, who is still with us. Tahitian, used to play for Moria and has played a lot of games for Totengengie Wings. I'll probably keep him around just because I don't want to irritate people too quickly. And you got Thomas Ferris, who's a free agent, who's an Austral Island player, who, to be honest, we're not going to be getting him back. Don't want him back, and I don't think he would come back. That's another issue. Facilities-wise, our privately owned stadium, no expansions. We have no youth recruitment and no junior coaching. This is a massive issue. This means we're not going to get a youth intake So we're going to have to rely on stealing other youth intakes until we can get enough money to sort this out. What I had been hoping was all I need to do is recruit so we can last to that youth recruitment window, that kind of is February, March time, where you get youth coming through. That's not going to happen here. We've not got anything like that. No youth facilities, just basic training facilities. It is not a well-equipped club. And the stadium's kind of falling apart as well. No undersoil heating, no one needs it here, especially on your sand pitch. Finances, we're only 60 grand in the red here. Currently, but as you can see, at the end of every season, it goes down to about 500,000. If you look at debt, got a big bank loan. So that's what's happened every time, or the last time they got to that situation. Bank loan was taken out. So again, we're not in good financial state. And actually, if you look at the wage budget, you can see that we don't really have any. We've got like £30 spare in the wage budget, so recruitment's going to be quite hard. And because of this, and because it's important we get out of this division to kind of get the rep up and things like that, I don't mind breaking the wage budget. So I've got an offline save going on where I'm playing in Scotland. It's like the year 2033 or something like that, and I've got a side from League 2 in Scotland, just gotten promoted to the Championship, and every season bar the very first one I've been with them, I've managed to keep them at 50% of their wage budget. So I think recently we've been given like a £10,000 wage budget, and we're spending about 4,500, which is what I'd kind of like to do eventually. And with the humpbacks, our wage budget got so ridiculous, we were always under it. Just we couldn't really spend that much on wages because the players worth it. So that's in the future. I think we're going to have to break the bank to make some bank, which is a really cringy way of saying it, but that's what we're going to have to do. And we are going to have to recruit. So under 23s, nobody. As we kind of mentioned before, can't recruit, we've just got greyed out players, and none of them are worth signing up. Because I don't know if you know this, but you can offer these grey players contracts. If you're ever desperate for a player to fill a position, you can give one of them a contract. But what you'll find is their kind of current ability and their potential ability is capped at a really, really small amount. So I imagine a lot of these, they'll be capped at a potential ability of maybe 30, something tiny like that. They're not good. But if you look at the squad itself, also not that good. So we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. We don't have enough for a starting 11 yet. We have to recruit. It doesn't matter that we've only got £30 in the bank. We have to recruit. And I'm going to try and use some loans, but I'll show you a little bit of an issue with that in a second as well. So we've got Florent Lachard, who is 6'5" keeper. He's Marquesan. He's been there a little while. He's been around. 5 clean sheets last season wasn't amazing, but you know. We've got Kenji Jiwini, who is one of our key players apparently. Doesn't look good. But again, we're comparing this to where we were with the humpbacks at the end, not where we were at the start. So actually, he will do. I'm sure he'll do the job for us in this season. We've got Moses Koanetti, who actually looks okay, but he's 34. Bassian, end of his playing life, I think. Again, he should be able to see out the season. Ben Thomas at left back, which is important because left backs are really difficult to cover. And with him and Kenji, we've got 2 options there. He looks alright. For a left back, he looks as good as some of the left backs we were getting through in the youth intake for the humpbacks and a kind of raw and finished one. So he'll be okay. But Bartholomew Gross looks, I was going to say bog standard, but he doesn't even look that good. He's just, yeah, he'll be alright. He's played for a while, so he can play at this level, basically. Remy Ruiz, midfielder, again, nothing special going on there. Marquesan, he's played a few seasons at this level. All this is doing is just showing me we've got some players who are under 23 gold, development league, squad players. Evan Lambert, who is our pride and joy, our icon. Yeah. Played for us for a long while, as we noticed before, but Peter Savage, Gambier, it's always good. 5 goals last season. Full 5 goals. Francois Bourreau, Again, nothing there going on that's particularly interesting. Got 4 goals last season, and he's wanted by Tahiti and Union Rimatara. What's his wage? He's on £100. If I could get rid of him and get a couple of youth players in, for that £100 wage, I would do. And then Andrew Pomats, out and out striker, 21 years old, Gambier, and no goals last season. Stolen from the Valley. He scored 2 his entire career. And they were for our under-23s who play in the Silver League. So, yeah, we're missing a lot of players, a lot of depth. It's a very different situation from the Humpbacks, but this should be fun. What we've also got to kind of consider is what tactic are we going to play with them. And to be honest, the just keep swimming tactic that I had with the Humpbacks is what I'm probably going to go for. We performed well with it, with the Humpbacks, so I'm going to try it and see if it works. I use this in one of my other saves as well, and it works quite well. It's 4-4-2, which means it's kind of easier to get the players for it. Defensive midfielders and good attacking midfielders, and good attacking midfielders, right, left, inside forwards, liberos, wing backs. They're all like out and out wing backs who play in the wing back position, and I've got wing backs on this. But ones who actually play pushed up positionally, they're really difficult to recruit good ones in this kind of database because all we've got are the players that the teams are generating, and we've got a much smaller pool of teams. We've not got any background leagues going on. It's difficult, and then there's the fact that some of them just aren't going to want to come to us. So I think 4-4-2 is what we're going to stick with because we can recruit for this. We've already got players who can play up front. We can cover the left. We cover the left and back of this. We just need maybe a few more midfielders, sort the right side out. And we've got a team that could play, not necessarily very well, but we've got a team that could play. In terms of backup, I've got the old 4-4 humping 2. Which is more long ball. So just keep swimming is more about passing it around, moving, overlaps, running at the defence. 4-4 humping 2 is more about just lumping it forward. So I might switch between the two. If the passing game is really not working, then we'll go to the long ball instead. So we've got some options there. So what I'm going to have to do now then is try and actually recruit some players. This will be tricky. So if we go to the scouting, don't think I've got any scouts. Staff, do I have any scouts? No scouts, so I'm going to have to sort that out as well. In terms of players who are interested, this is all the way on to doubtful. There's 136 players, which seems like a reasonable kind of pool, but these are including doubtful players. So doubtful players are those who would come to you if you offered them a really good deal, if you're going to make them a key player, if you're going to give them bonuses, if you're going to give them like wage increases every year, that kind of stuff. And they're not great anyway. So this guy, if we go to try and sign him, he wants this promise of a backup anyway before he even talked to us. And I mean, he's right to ask for backup because that's all he would be, but there's not a lot going on that kind of jumps out. So if we go to our shortlist, because we have a very good shortlist, just go to the ones who are potentially interested in us. We've got 7 players, and again, these aren't the strongest players from there. There's some that will do well if we're able to get them, but also some that we don't really need. Like, it's difficult to say we need Sebastian Thomas, who plays essentially on either side of the wing pushed up or maybe as a striker, when those are the positions we either got covered or aren't going to use. And you can kind of see here as well. Actually, is this because of my edit? There we go, that's why. Oh, 22 players, that's a bit better. Got some who are interested who've got positions we've already got covered. Gonna have to break the bank. I may have to go into some loans and things like that. So we're gonna have to do that to try and bring some players in. So I'm going to take a pause to do that in a second, but just before I do, the last thing to sort of show you is what happened at the end of last season. So obviously I left after the, Club World Championship, and got the sort of sweet Club World Championship money for the Humpbacks, and it took ages to get to a position where we can be offered a job I actually wanted. I got offered pretty much every job under the sun in between now and here, but basically we didn't get this until the well, start of July. I've not gone forward a day yet, and this didn't come available until sort of mid-June. It's taken weeks to be offered this, even though for one of the best managers in the game, they took it quite slow. So actually, lots happened. So what we can do, if we go back to the competitions, go up. Oh, I went too far up. So the Premiership last season was won by the Eels. So after we left, the Humpbacks, you can't show it because it's the season out, but the Humpbacks dropped off. 62 points isn't actually that far off what we left them with, really. So the Humpbacks dropped out of that. Actually, no, I didn't mention who got relegated, did I? So Uapoa got relegated to that Marquesas Islands side, and Fatahuka Corallers also relegated. But that left the Terrors there at least. But that's a bit sad for Uapoa because they were fighting to be like this Marquesan mainstay top flight. If you go to the Championship, Mapti got promoted, as have Mayao. So back to this kind of Tahitian dominance in that sort of Premiership. There's only 2 teams in the Premiership now who aren't from Tahiti, and that's the Humpbacks and the Terrors. Development Gold, so the Humpbacks won it again. We finished 10th, so that's where we need to kind of improve on. Tubai finished above where we were by a point. And I think, if you look at the rules, top team qualifies for the promotion playoffs. So I think what would happen is we just need to be the top. Yeah, we just need to be the top senior team. So Tubai, who are only where were Tubai? I'm back too far. Yeah, so Tubai, who finished 8th last season, even though there's all these teams above them, managed to get into that playoff. So actually, all you have to do is be better than Tubai, Mangreva, Magdalena, Vines, Naruto, and Sheprez. We just need to be the best of the rest in that sense. We don't need to worry if the Humpbacks absolutely destroy us. It's fine. It just means we won't win this title, which we care about. Nothing really happens in the silver because it's all under 23 teams. In the Inter-Island Cup, it was won by Uhin in the final. So they won the Premiership, and that's, don't need to worry about the Super Cup because we know we lost it with the Humpbacks. This was won by, I'm just going to do it this way, Moria last season. Leeward by AS Chance, with Uhin being runners up. Humpbacks managed to get something, which is the Meeting of Pride. Marquesas was won by the Fatahuka Corallers, even though they got relegated. The Shield of Pride was won by AS Chance with the Humpbacks being runners-up, and the Youth Cup won by the Eels. And if we go back to Eels, so I'm just going around a very, very long circuitous route to work out this. Where is it? If we look at the O-League, look at the past winners. It's won by Auckland City and Team Wellington there, so no kind of Polynesian representatives. So that's the kind of picture. The Humpbacks kind of fell off. If we look at their sort of team, they brought players in. So there's a few names there I might not recognise. Let's put everyone here on my shortlist, so I can track them. But they've not lost anyone. They've got a few people went out and learn. If they released players, they got rid of a few. We might see if we can actually. Sure, let's see if we can get any of these ones. I don't think we can afford them, and I don't think they want to come to us. But yeah, so the team's not changed that much. They just changed their tactics, changed the manager, and underperformed. So yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes to show you the transfers, and then the next episode we'll go straight into the matches. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, we've got what looks like a full squad, but it's a fairly, terrible full squad. You'll see as we kind of go through. I'll just show you the incoming kind of transfers. Basically, we put in a lot of offers for a lot of players. There's about the 100 whatever players there were on the list, 125 or whatever that is, and basically I broke it down by position, went through, tried to see who would come to us. Some people just wouldn't talk to us. Some people wanted like ridiculous wages. So I tried to sign Seth Waite, that right winger we had. The Humpbacks got released, and he wanted over £1,000 a week to play for us. That's about 4 or 5 times more than he was actually earning when he was with us at the Humpbacks. So I don't know why he thought he was going to get that from us. But basically, a lot of players wanted £400 to £600 a week, and we can offer 100. That's it. No more than 100, no less than 100. That is the only thing we can offer. So we had to try and be creative with some of the deals. And a lot of players we found who were actually interested but wanted a bit more. There was a couple who wanted maybe 200-ish, who actually looked pretty good. But we just couldn't stretch that, even with putting bonuses and stuff in like that. The best we were able to do is talk somebody down from about 140 to 100. Putting offers in, I'll show you the player who it was as well. So they're not great. So the plan is, with all these players we've got here, they're on a 1-year contract. Some of them have got the extensions in, where if they play a certain number of games and we don't get relegated, then they'll get an extension. And for most of them, that's set at about 15 or 20 games. So there's only 20 league games. So for a lot of them, they'll have to play the majority of the season if they want to get that extension. But for one of them, I think it might be Laurent Bernier here, I think I accidentally set it to 30. I didn't realise I could. I was just clicking too fast and then clicked OK and he accepted it. But basically, if he wants an extension, he'll have to play 30 league games this season. But there's only 20 he can play. So he's not getting an extension. But here we go. Anton Bon is probably the best signing we made. Marquesan, right back. We needed someone in the right back position outright. He's been around. Isla Magdalena, Morpea. He's played for AS Central Sport, who are a real Tahitian side. And now he's come to us. Don't know why it's... Oh yeah. So he came to us, and then immediately got put in the under-23s, and I called him back up, which gives him like these 3 entries, which is stupid. Anthony Dupuis, who looks like he might be alright. He's not actually rated that kind of highly, but he's got 12 for finishing. His acceleration's reasonable. Again, pretty one-dimensional, but he's play on the right potentially. On the front, and he was at Tahiti and Union Rematara and Vahanga Vines. He's got an amazing 13 league goals in 136 appearances across all these ones from the very start of the game. So he's not prolific. He's just a very terrible journeyman. And then we've got Tingika Maggie, who is a defender, who actually looks alright as well. He looks like he's got the kind of key attributes that we need. He used to play for Vahanga Vines and then the Exiles, and then we brought him back here. So he's played at the gold and silver and a few at the championship level as well. We've got Joshua Roy, who's a keeper, who is okay. He's rated as highly as our current keeper, just without any kind of potential, but we needed another keeper really. So Moutons, Maupti, Terahi, Chevres, Lagunas, back to Maupti, and then to us. So he's been around. Not a great overall record, 80 appearances, 109 conceded, 19 clean sheets. He's not great, he's not terrible either. Then we've got Jean-Marc Chabert, who is another striker who isn't fantastic either, but he's bizarrely rated quite well in comparison to some of our other players. Came from AS Chance, so he could be quite a high potential player, although he's getting on a bit now. He did actually play for the Totengengie Wings seasons ago and got 7 goals. That's the best season he ever had. So we've revisited this sort of well. He played for Uapoa, Fatahuka, and Tubai as well. So he's been around, but again, he's not prolific. 24 and 131 is not amazing. We'll see if we can change that. Then we've got Frank Dean, and you may recognise his name if you've been watching all of the videos, but he's an Australese player, and he is an Australese player who came from the Humpbacks youth intake. So he played for us, had a decent opening under 23 season, but beyond that, he's played in the Premiership for Uapo. We played against him, I think, at various points, but he's not prolific. 24 and 112. Then we've got Laurent Meunier, who I kind of panicked signed because we didn't really have anyone in midfield, and all the good midfielders we wanted just didn't want to talk to us or wanted us to pay them an obscene amount. And Raphael Cross is the same. Not great, but at least we just got spare bodies, essentially. So now we've got enough players to run a team. I think we've got enough for 20 games, and that's the thing. We don't need a huge squad, we don't need lots of rotation, we just need these players to get us through 20 league games. I don't really care about the Mutiny Trophy, I don't care about the Inter-Island Cup, they are distractions. I also don't have like an alternative team I can play them, so that these guys will have to play in every match pretty much regardless, but at least now I've got the core of a team. And I might see if I can get a few more in, but basically I've broken the bank to try and do this. So spending 3,000 when we've only got 2,000 to spend. But at least now we've got options. We've got options across the back. We're struggling on the wings. We don't have an out-and-out right-sided one apart from Meunier, who can also play there. But I think we'll be okay. I think we might have a sort of Jean-Marc Chabert and Frank Dean up front. You've got the likes of Pomat and Dupuis on the bench. Lambert on the left, maybe. Francois on the right, maybe as well. In the middle, it could be Remy, I guess. Probably Remy and someone else. But we've got a squad, so that's what we're going to do. I'll end here. We'll come back for our very first game in the next video. Thanks as always for watching. Any sort of likes, subscriptions, that kind of stuff, that's all appreciated. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, or at FM Tahiti, so you can see what I'm doing on there. You can read some of my stuff on Dictate the Game as well. So I do the FM Stats Lab on there, or you can just read the Dictate the Game stuff because it's generally really good. Listen to their podcast as well. But yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next episode.